Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Q Lads channel. We are back again for another day of the Ashes. This is day 3, and it could be the final day of this match, depending on how well England do go out there and bat. At the moment, they are 4 down. It was a tough session last night where Scott Boland and also there were 2 wickets falling in favour of Mitchell Starc. So because of that, England, they now have Root and they also have Stokes at the crease, and they will be trying to rebuild and get themselves a little bit of a lead in this one. They still trail by 51 runs. So they are going to need to have a good old effort in this first session. We have got David in the chat. Xavier Brown, Kevin is here as well. And also we have got there Josh in the chat as said hello fellow athletes and Hamish as well in there. I'll take it. How's it going, mate? Hope you are doing well. At the moment, there's a 6% chance that England will be able to go on to win this game compared to the 93.5% chance that Australia will be winning it. As you can hear, my voice is still not completely recovered from the kind of last couple of days that we have been doing of the cricket. But we have got the BBL a little bit later on tonight, which will be the Sydney Thunder taking on the Perth Scorchers as well. But this game of the Ashes, we have got a 2-hour session, and it is actually going to be starting at 12:30, which is the time that we haven't actually seen either of the first 2 days start at. It's always been delayed by 30 minutes, which does mean normally overlaps a little bit with the Big Bash as well. We have got the Aussies will win Seas Cricket Galway. They're in the box seat at the moment. All they need to do is get 6 more wickets. And at the moment, that's the thing. 51 runs is actually quite a few on the surface by the looks of it. It looks like it's a tough pitch to bat on, definitely after last night. So it will be interesting to see how it does go. We're going to be drinking plenty of liquid today, and hopefully that will end up recovering the vocal cords. I think the only part of me that wants to see this match end early is probably my voice box, because of the fact that I've been talking many hours over the last little while as well, and we will want a little bit of a break before heading into the Bangladesh versus New Zealand that is coming on New Year's Day. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in that poll, when is this game going to end? Is it going to be the first session, second session, third session of today, or will it be not even today? And will we get to see a day 4 for tomorrow as well, and maybe even a day 5? Who knows how long England will be able to bat for at this stage. But they have got Joe Root at the crease. He's sitting on 12 runs of 20 deliveries, like I mentioned, and also Ben Stokes. He is out there at the moment, and he is on 2 of 2 deliveries. But the night watchman, Jack Leach, didn't last very long at all last night. Scott Boland able to pick up that wicket off the second ball, so it was a second ball duck there for Jack Leach. So we will have to wait and see whether or not we do see any more ducks for England, because we saw Dava Milani, he got a golden duck from Mitchell Starc. Some very good bowling from him. So now we will just have to wait and see. They've still got Bairstow, they've got Butler. Those are their last 2 batsmen, and then they've got Mark Wood, Ollie Robinson, and James Anderson, or Jimmy Anderson, who had a phenomenal day with the ball last night. So it was a shame that it kind of ended the way that it did that day, because Jimmy Anderson, 4 wickets for himself, was getting closer and closer to the 5 for. And then it ended up just going all the way of Australia. The MCG, the 42,000 in attendance, they were all behind the boys trying to get them over the line. And I was hoping to see Lyon do some damage, but the quicks might not give him much to do as well, says Josh. Yeah, that's the thing. We did see plenty of spin on offer and also a little bit of extra bounce at times for Nathan Lyon. Like that's maybe, I don't know how many overs they'll save him for, because we know that Ben Stokes won't want to just sit there at one end and keep on blocking. He has done it in the past, and he does eventually end up going for that massive shot. And that does get him into trouble sometimes. The side of it for England here is they won't be looking at this as, right, we need to just bat out. You're not going to be able to survive by total with 270 overs. What they need to do, first of all, their goal needs to be that 51 runs. As soon as they get that, at least then they are sending in Australia and giving themselves a chance with the ball in hand. Because we've seen some miracle innings, so the most or bare minimum that they will actually need is probably a lead by 50, and they're going to need a lot more than that as well. So I would say, I think the main number that everyone is saying is if they can lead by 200, which would be absolutely huge on the surface, I will mention. But if they can lead by somewhere around that 150, 200, it might be enough. My prediction, first session, Australia will win as well, says Kevin. So he is thinking a couple more early wickets. And that's the thing, Pat Cummins, he hasn't actually got a wicket yet in this second innings. He was phenomenal in the first. Phenomenal anytime that he plays as well, Pat Cummins. It is great that we do get to see him here for this one, but they are just showing his bowling in that first innings. It was brutal as well, and also well said, Hamish, as well, says David, and also we have got the hello lads. Whatever's going to happen today will be a mercy as well. I predict a half century for Root and Bairstow, though, says Sebastian. Yeah, they were talking about it before the game. Like Root, out of everyone for England, he's been that one player who has just knuckled down always willing to put up that fight. So they're saying how great it would be if he was able to bring up his century, first ever century on Australian soil. If he was able to do it in this game, perhaps that could be the game-changing innings. But England at the moment, like, that's the thing. They were absolutely just on the money last night, Australia, with the way that they were bowling. It was right in the kind of, I guess you could say, right outside the off stump, but also everything was cutting back in. Some of the balls were moving about a foot or so, and Boland was doing phenomenal for himself last night, picking up the 2 wickets, and he was able to get just the one in the first session. And I mentioned it would be very similar to what we saw for Jai Richardson, how he did pick up just the one in the first one. We have got DC in the chat. He said, "Hi, welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are excited for another day of Ashes cricket. If this day is not the last one, we will be starting at around that 12:15 mark tomorrow as well, and we will get to see another day of Ashes. But we have got the match a little bit later on tonight in the BBL, and that is going to be the Scorchers taking on the Thunder. That will be a good old matchup with Mitchell Marsh, Colin Munro. Who else they got at the moment? They've got a phenomenal side, the Scorchers. They're sitting top of the table for a reason, and the team that they are going to be playing up against the Thunder, they are sitting in 5th at the moment, I believe. But that is because they have had a game less than 2 of the sides above it. But at the moment, Boland, he would have been soaking in the atmosphere last night when everyone was just almost bowing down to him as well. He was giving them a little bit of a nod. He was loving it at his home ground. And now at this stage, we are only 4 minutes away from the first ball being bowled of the day. We have got a total of theoretically 90 overs if we do get through them all, although there might be a changeover at some stage throughout the day, which will, of course, end up taking a few off. I think we were a few overs short yesterday as well. So we will have to wait and see how it goes. But Joe Root, he is the anchor. Ben Stokes, he has to be the anchor as well. They need 2 anchors. I don't know too many boats that have 2 anchors. Definitely not when they are the size of this one at the moment for England. They are going to have to work hard. Going to have to keep on going and see whether or not they can chase down that 51, and then from there build themselves into a position of it being able to just get as much of a lead as they can. I feel like they can't go too ultra defensive. They need to go out there, and if the ball is there to hit, they've got to hit it, because there might not be too many opportunities with the way that the likes of maybe a Nathan Lyon, also Pat Cummins, will be bowling later on. But Ben Stokes, Joe Root, 2 men ready to go for England here. They know that there's going to be a monumental kind of effort in front of them as well, and perfect setup for an Englishman to become a hero as well. And Ian Botham in the same position, and Botham's Ashes become a legend as well, or became a legend, sorry, says Joshua, exactly right. That's the thing. I mentioned it last night. I slightly said it as one of those ones that was like a passing statement, but I said if somehow, like in some way, these two can make a 200-run partnership or something like that, like it's going to be near impossible. But if it's somehow that small 0.001% chance that it does happen, all of a sudden this game could go back in the favor of England, because it doesn't look like a very easy surface to bat on. So these two, they will have to bat time, they will have to bat long, and they will have to try their best to get England a lead here. But Joe Root making his way out onto into the middle, I should say, alongside Ben Stokes. But the Australians, they'll have a plan here. They didn't even have to bowl Cameron Green last night, I don't believe. And here's another player who can definitely get the ball to swing around a little bit. The sun is out. It's looking like a beautiful day out. I believe it will be sitting around that 20-degree mark. The hottest day is supposed to be day 5 if we do get to it, and that's supposed to be 33 degrees. So I think both of these sides wouldn't mind if this game was over by then. But of course, England, they will need to keep on going, see what they can do. But they trail by 51, like I mentioned. We're at the MCG for this match. We still don't know whether or not we are going to get to see a match at the SCG for the next week's game on the 5th of January, I believe it is, or maybe the 4th of January. But the partnership, it's 9 runs off 7 balls. It looks like they aren't willing to take that backward step. These are 2, and they will certainly have to make sure that if they do get those edges, they got to play with soft hands, because you do not want to end up having a catch going straight to Steve Smith. He's he's caught everything that he has had. There's no point being defensive here. There are 2 more whole days apart from today. The draw is impossible as well. Go for it. Get a nice style and try to bowl the Aussies out for less than 100. Exactly right. They've got to go for it into this situation. You can't sit back and go, you know what, we'll just tap, 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 because at the end of the day, 270 overs is what we have got left in this test match. I would try and do the quick maths, but that's going to be very hard to do, but I'm thinking about it, and it is 1,620 balls left, something around there. That's probably very wrong. It might not be a mile off. What did I say? 1,620. I'm actually going to check that, fact-checked it quickly to see whether or not I was actually anywhere near it with my quick maths, or whether I was a mile off. So it is 270 times 6 equals 1,620. There you go, and g'day on a 10. As well, says Xavier Brown. At that stage, do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who will be able to pick up the first wicket of the day for Australia. Will it be Mitchell Starc? Will it be Pat Cummins, who is going to get a g'day on a 10-hour road trip from Melbourne to Adelaide as well, says Xavier Brown. Geez, that is a long one. That is for sure. So hopefully you've got plenty of hydration there for you, mate. Mitchell Starc running into bowler. First ball, Joe Root gives it a bit of a drive, and it is going to be fielded in the cover from Travis Head. But straight away we saw Joe Root willing to go for that cover drive rather than just leaving it. So England have gone into it possibly with the mindset of we need runs and we need them quickly so that we can not let Australia get their momentum in this matchup. But at the moment, overs 12.1. There is still plenty of time left in it this day for both of the sides. I do hear the Barmy Army. They are still in full voice at the MCG. They know how important this innings is for Joe Root and also for the series. If they lose this match, series is over, and it is going to be Australia who have been able to take it and retain the Ashes. Well bowled, though, by Mitchell Starc, swinging away a little bit, 138 Ks. And at the moment, he has found his line and his length. Mitchell Starc and safe travels, mate, as well. Sebastian there in the chat as well. That one just ends up leaving Joe Root there. It ended up just slowly drifting away towards that kind of first slip, almost even second slip. Do you watch the Championship Rugby England second division as well, says Xavier Brown? They don't actually have it over here, I don't believe. I don't actually know who won the game between the Harlequins and also Northampton, so please do not let me know, ladies and gentlemen, because I think I am going to be watching a replay of it a little bit later on today. So I have no idea who won that game, but I'm excited to see who does end up getting the win, unless, of course, do let me know if it was postponed, because then I guess that saves me a little bit of time if it does end up not being shown. But that is going to be the 2 runs there for Joe Root. So a good shot straight away, moves him up onto 14 runs. And hey, Hamish, you look a little bit like Rory Burns as well, but you're probably a better opener, to be fair as well. Says G Raccoon. Appreciate you, mate. But yeah, I think out of the English players or any cricketer, it seems to be Rory Burns for myself that I do get compared to. And then for rugby, it's actually James Lowe, if you guys know who that is. I think it's just the hair is relatively similar in that regard. What do you think is England's downfall, Hamish, as well? Says Kevin, I think it is that problem of not being able to find partnerships throughout that top order as well. And I think that, that's a good ball from Mitchell Starc. Once again, we have got that thanks, Seb, says Xavier Brown. And I feel like even though there is a chance that the test match could be over today, and also know the Quins game was not both the match took place, is all I'm going to say. And he's got a massive smile, Sebastian. So I feel like the fact that he's got a massive smile, maybe that kind of tells me a little bit as well. Hello, Sebastian, says that David there in the chat. I did see that you said it was raining there for you, David. It is raining here as well. So unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, we had the one day of nice weather, which was Christmas. And then other than that, it's been raining ever since. Mitchell Starc now. Nice drive there from Joe Root. That's going to be an aggressive shot, and that is going to be racing away possibly to the boundary here. For the first boundary of the day, it is indeed, and it's a good shot from a Joe Root. Nicely played down the ground. Keeps it along the ground, and it does seem like, straight away, like we mentioned, it seems like England are actually going to be playing aggressive here. And at the early stages, they know they need runs in Ari and Joe Root. That's a great shot there down the ground to be able to bring up his first boundary of the day and also of his innings, I believe, there. For Joe Root. No, sorry, he's actually already had 2. I believe both of those was off the edge, though, if I'm not wrong. Or was there one that was a cover drive as well? And also, we have got there. I hope you're well, David, says Sebastian. Nice shot there from Joe Root holding the form, and that is going to be the end of the 13th over. And it is going to be 37 for 4 here. The lead at the moment for the Australians. It's sitting at 45, and we will be keeping a very close eye on that bar right there to see whether or not we will get to see a second innings for Australia with the bat. But as long as Joe Root and Ben Stokes can got to work together, and at this one, I think they should be fine in terms of being able to get that 45 runs. Like, that's all they need is a 50-run partnership between these two, and then every run from there on out, they are in the profit, I guess you could say, for this matchup at the MCG. Or they're already showing barbecue bacon double cheeseburgers from Burger King. Why have they got to do that on day one? Or sorry, on session 1, I should say. Now I just want a burger. But we haven't got any burgers here. They are a mile away. But if this match ends early enough, maybe the night is still young enough. But Pat Cummins, he is going to be bowling from one end. 14 runs, 3 maidens, and an economy of 2.33 for his first few overs of the night. Going across Ben Stokes, but good forward defensive shot there from Stokes, looking solid behind the ball as well. And he is the kind of player that in a situation like this, like we saw what he did with Leach last year or the year before, for the Ashes, like they had a phenomenal innings between them. They won that game for England with just an incredible fight back as well. And that is exactly what these two are going to need at the crease for England to have a good chance of it being able to go on and win this one. I've missed Are You Like a Mate from school that left as well, says Jaden Sacco. So welcome back, mate. Hope you are doing well. Hope you had a good Christmas as well. And I hope you are excited for a little bit more cricket that we have got on today. We've got the BBL later on. Well played from Stokes. Gets right in behind the ball, but Pat Cummins, he's like a bowling machine. He will keep on putting that ball in the exact same spot over and over and over. I think England will lose this one today in the third session as well, says Coding there. We have another wee drink we have got there. What's your favourite takeaway place to eat? Nothing beats Subway as well. Subway is very good. I actually had my first ever Subway footlong in Australia, and it was a chicken and bacon ranch. And ever since then, that is actually what I've gone with for my Subway order. But I would say, what else do I quite like? I don't mind a pizza, depending on how it goes in terms of a pizza or a Domino's, depending on what the mood is at that stage. But it is going to be Stokes on strike at the moment. The move for England will be there in a run-scoring mood. A little bit leg side whipped away there by Stokes, and that is going to be racing down to the man. And finally, he gets himself off the mark for the day. And do you think England can win this test as well, says Jaden? It's going to be extremely tough. They're going to have a gritty performance. They've got a 6% chance of being able to go on. It's actually gone up to 8.5, though, for England, just with the couple shots that we have seen them play so far. So it's not hugely likely, but it is possible. And that is exactly what England will be looking at. They'll go, right, boys, there's still a small chance. We just need to get these 44 runs. If they don't get those 44 runs, then Australia do not even have to bat again. And last night, it was a very tough session for the English, losing those 4 wickets. And Hamid also losing Milan first ball. Well played from Joe Root, just getting right on the ball and trying to kill any opportunity of an edge as well with the soft hands from Joe Root. But yeah, pretty much Hamid losing his wicket. Rory Burns, he was not even here for this one, but instead they had Zach Crawley, who was opening the batting. He ended up losing his wicket as well. And then Milan and Jack Leach, the night watchman, ended up going second ball, and it was a beauty from Scott Bolland. At the moment, it's looking like a nice day at the MCG. I'm not too sure what the temperature's sitting at, but I would assume it's probably around that 20 to mid-20s range. Well played. Once again by Joe Root, tries to get it through, but Cameron Green once again in the gully. He doesn't let too many through that gap there, Cameron Green. He's got a big smile on his face as well. It looks like there's actually still a decent crowd at the MCG, and missing Sir Rory Burns as well. Says it fitted us there. Maybe he does get a chance in the next one. I feel like Hamid is probably the next man to get dropped from the top order as well. As it hot in Melbourne as well. I will have a quick wee look at the weather, see exactly what they are sitting at the moment. So in Melbourne, they are sitting at 19 degrees Celsius. So they're actually only 7 degrees hotter than us. They do say that Melbourne is relatively the closest to New Zealand in terms of the feel when you are there for heat and whatnot. That's going to be a nice thing cutter from it was Cummins. That's going to end his over as well. And also we have got there, if Australia can finish up tail of England at the rest, you can have some rest before the BBL game as well. And it says, Kevin, that is true. It is going to be at 9:15 that game starts. And the equation is simple. We have Root, Stokes, Bairstow, and Butler. It all counts on them as well. Once those 4 are gone, I predict 30 more runs, and then we bowl as well, says Sebastian. Yeah. Unfortunately for them, that is the case. Soon as they lose 3 wickets, it's probably, that's the thing. If they lose all 4 of those guys in this first session, I wouldn't be surprised if we only get to see this one go maybe midway through the second session as well. New Zealand need a team in the Big Bash as well. It would be quite cool to see in the future if they did decide to kind of add us in, because I know they've got 8 teams at the moment. So maybe they get another Australian team and then add a Kiwi team in there as well, perhaps. At the moment, my voice, yeah, I feel like the vocal cords, I'd love a little bit of a rest, but I think England, they have got different plans. They want to keep on going. And that's why Mitchell Stark well bowled. And once again, just trying to put it up around, I guess you'd say, maybe about stomach height of that man, Ben Stokes, who will be trying to anchor himself at the crease. That is a word I've used a lot over the last little while as well, anchoring for England. But that is exactly what they're going to need to do. They need to steady the ship, because they got Bairstow, they got Butler, and then they've got Robinson will be the next man to the crease. So actually, I believe in the last one, did Wood come in before Robinson, or did Robinson come in before Wood in that first innings? I think it might have actually been Wood before Robinson. Yes, it was. So they've decided to promote Robinson up the batting order just a little bit for this one, left alone outside of the off stump. Now it's scary at the moment. He's been very good behind the stumps. Hasn't really been putting anything down when it does go through to him. And that will be one of the keys for Australia. If they do end up having a catching opportunity, if they can take it, that is those massive wickets that they will be needing. But overall, I'm looking at that scoreboard, 4 wickets down, 38 runs for England. I feel like last night it was just a very bad batch for them. But today seems like they've come out and they're being a lot more positive with the way that they are going to be playing as well. Hamish, how do you rate Tom Latham as a captain in comparison to Tim Southee as well? Sometimes he becomes too defensive as well in situations we saw in India series. Should Southee be a good option to lead the Black Cats as well? It's a good question of what way they will want to go for that one. I know that they normally go with Southee in the shorter formats, whereas Latham seems to be the man that they go to for the longer formats. I feel like up against Bangladesh, we should hopefully be all right either way, I guess. And also we have got there the boat anchor or park the bus as well. Says that Sebastian. Maybe one of them's the anchor, one of them's the bus, and both of them are going to be hanging around for a little while as our New Zealand can support their own comms. We have enough New Zealand teams in Australian sport, a couple too many in my opinion as well. Says that Mark Morris there. Oh, so that's, I guess, Wellington Phoenix and Warriors maybe. Oh, no, we've got the Breakers. Okay, never mind. We've got a couple of leagues that we might be able to sneak into as well. It's a good shot down the ground there from Ben Stokes. Just hold the pose, and that is going to be 4 runs down the ground. And it is Ben Stokes who picks up his first boundary of the day now for himself, and that is going to be 4 runs now. And I almost called them India, but we had a full day of India versus South Africa rained off yesterday, which was a big shame. Now England, they trail by 44 runs. Oh, sorry, now 40 runs, getting closer and closer. The rest of the Ashes tour in doubt as well. COVID in Sydney may play in Perth instead of Hobart. Still, should be safe though as well, says Joshua. Yeah, although I do see that it is actually Perth at the moment who are sneaking up, and a few kind of cases popping up from out of nowhere. So it's gonna be very interesting. If this one was in Sydney, they were saying that this match would have been called off pretty much instantly. Because we're in Melbourne though, it did mean that it did get to keep on being played. So it just depends on the region of Australia that you're in, depends on what kind of, I guess, circumstances / way of dealing with situations you do have. So at the moment, Warner and Steve Smith just having a little bit of a chat about batting. Those two would love to be able to finish the job for the Australians before the end of the day, but I believe that England, they will be hanging around for just a little bit longer than that. Hopefully, we do get to see a day 4 of this test match as well. But now it is going to be Mitchell Starc charging in once again. Final ball of the over, and that is going to be just blocked by Ben Stokes, and that will be now England sitting 4 for 42 here as well. So I believe when were they? I think these guys have already got about a 15, if not maybe more than that, run partnership as well, maybe closer to the 20 mark now. And now India need to score big runs in the first innings and score up to 500 and bowl out South Africa 2 times because less time remaining as well. So it's going there. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more tough for India with the circumstances of the rain, but feel like they have still got that bowling lineup that should be able to get the job done if they do get a few more quick runs tonight. And yeah, they will just be hoping that there's not too much more rain, because a full day being rained off, normally you get about a session, and that can even affect a test match quite drastically. But having 90 overs disappearing from that test match, although they will try and make up, I believe, some of that time depending on how it goes for the next 3 days, it is still going to be extremely tough for both sides. Well, bowled there by Pat Cummins, but straight behind the ball, Joe Root. He is the man who does need to carry himself through to his first century on Australian soil if England do want to be in the box seat for this matchup as well. They've got an 11.5% chance of being able to win this game. So those odds, they keep on changing. It was actually 6% at the start of the day. So we can see already they've gone up 5%. I believe once they lose one of these 2 wickets, though, that will drop right down to like 3 or 4%, though. So it does just show how quickly a match can change with just the 1 wicket, or maybe another boundary from it, Joe Root in the future. But Pat Cummins at the moment now outside of the off stump, left alone there. Almost a little bit of that off-cutter bowl once again from Cummins. He's getting quite a nice bit of movement on it as well every time that he does try and bowl it. It was close to cleaning up the stumps, and in fact, that ball that he bowled to Hamid went in by about that much, which was a very interesting one to see. They're just showing there Jack Leach. He did face 2 deliveries for himself, and then the second ball, it did end up cleaning up the off stump, And that was the wicket for Scott Boland, the second wicket of the over that he was able to get for himself as well. And Hamish, what is the target England will look to set for Australia if they don't lose wickets? About 150 will be good to defend or not. I think 150, 200 is definitely the amount that they will be needing at least here. And I just wanted, I thought a whole COVID who have been it's been a thing of the past as well, says Kevin there. And yeah, unfortunately, it is ramping up around the world in different regions and also different strains as well coming in as well at this stage. And Otago Volt says Wellington Firebirds today. I was thinking, Hamish, would you stream the Super Bash final if it doesn't overlap with anything else as well, says Sebastian? I think it would be pretty cool to be able to. What day is it on, Sebastian? Do you happen to know? Although I think I will be able to quickly get that information up. One moment. I will open up my app and we will see. And at 3 balls time, well bowled there by Cummins. So once again, well played by Joe Root. Seems to be quite a battle out there between the captains for the early stages of the day. So the Super Smash for the men, we're actually sitting week 6 out of all of them. So it's going to be January 27th and January 29th. Other 2 days, I feel like that actually might be all right because it is going to be a Thursday and a Saturday. I'm trying to think of what else we might have. We might have some rugby or something like that, but that will be during the night, more than likely, because we won't have any Southern Hemisphere rugby. And Root and Stokes need to put up a great fight. Let's see some real ashes as well, says Bernard there. In the chat, yeah, if these two can just stick around, get a 100-run partnership. It's a shorter ball there from Cummins, the shortest ball that we've seen of the day. Joe Root does evade it, though. He looks like he wants it. He wanted to maybe play that cut shot, although both of these men, they will agree that unfortunately for them, both actually played a shot that they didn't need to play in that first innings. I believe it was Stokes who tried to glide it through that kind of third man and also in between gully region, did end up getting himself caught. And then also the other shot from Joe Root was when he chased a little bit of a wider one and ended up edging it. As we have got their Black Cats will also play a practice match versus Bangladesh at a test match. Devon Conway and Neil Wagner will be playing in that practice match. I believe that's actually today, isn't it? If I'm not wrong, that practice match that they have got. So that is going to be the end of the over now. 4 for 42. It was a maiden from Pat Cummins, very well bowled. And once again, Australia, they have got to try and take the reins in this early session of the day. If they do get another 3 wickets in this session alone, I would say that this session might be one of the last ones we get to see of this match, which will be a shame, but could be the case depending on the Australian bowlers. Mass explained to said hi as well. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are looking forward to the BBL that is happening a little bit later on tonight between the Thunder and the Scorchers. Then the day after, there are 2 games that overlap, but we are going to be covering that game. I believe it's actually the Heat versus the Stars, I think might be that game, but I could be wrong because that was the game last night, actually, now that I think about it. But at the moment, Mitchell Starc, he is going to be raring to go. He is still not quite getting that 145 or so that we are used to seeing for Mitchell Starc, but that is due to a little bit of a back injury. Seems like he's not quite able to throw it down as quickly as he normally would. Mitchell Starc will bowl it down, I guess I should say, in that situation. Not quite supposed to throw the ball when you are bowling. Well bowled, but once again, it is going to be well played by Ben Stokes. At the moment, he is going to be sitting on 13 balls faced here for Ben Stokes. England trail by 40 runs. That is still going to be the goal for England. They've got 11 runs so far today, so the partnership between Stokes and Root for this innings so far is actually 20 for these two, so hopefully they can keep on building that up and keep on going towards a very nice total here. But Stokes and Root, this is the big combination that needs to be able to get at least that 50 runs. And then after that, you've got Bairstow, you've got Butler. Both can hit a long ball, and both will probably be chasing it a little bit as well to be able to try and propel that run rate forward. Once again, just a little bit too short from Mitchell Starc with that line and length there by the looks of it. He does need to get it up just a little bit more. Like they're saying, he was on a hat-trick last night as well. And can we see the real Ben Stokes today as well? Says Bernard, there is a chance that we will get to see a very good innings from Ben Stokes and Joe Root with the partnership, similar to what we saw between Jack Leach and Ben Stokes last year or the year before. I keep on saying last year for the Ashes, but it does feel weird that it's already been 2 years since that last one. My prediction, Australia will win and India win and New Zealand will win. My overall prediction as well, says Kevin there. Going to be 4 runs for Ben Stokes. That's a good shot down the ground from that man because of it now. England are going to be moving up onto 46. It's a good just cover drive in the end, but it was, a straight drive. Just gets onto it early. Does it straight down the ground. Nicely played again. New Zealand 11 men, 14 for 3 versus Bangladesh. And Devon Conway goes for 0 from 2 balls. Struggling live scorecard updates as well. Says coding there. So yeah, that's not looking too good for New Zealand at the moment, being 3 wickets down this early on. Is it a test match? Or is it a different format? I assume it's a test match. But yeah, that's not the start that they would have been wanting. Anyone have an actual stream as well, says Johnny? I believe the only option, I don't think they've got a live one, but they have got on cricket.com.au, they will have highlights from each of the Ashes days, which may be your best bet. I don't believe anyone will be able to show it on YouTube, because or else they will probably end up getting sued, unfortunately. But yeah, cricket.com.au, their YouTube channel, will have the highlights of each of the days, so you can see highlights from day 1, day 2, and also this day at the end of the day as well. 16.4 overs. Cheers, says Johnny. No worries, mate. But yeah, I wish that I was able to show the actual footage from the game. Oh, he's been bowled there, Ben Stokes, because that was a ripper from a Mitchell Starc. Is that the game-changing wicket? I did say that they had a 10.5 or so % chance of being able to win it. How much does that change it? And I tell you what, Mitchell Starc, I said he needed to get it just a little bit further pitched up as well, and that is exactly what he did. I agree with coding earlier. By the way, I want to see India get around 450, 500 runs and then take down the Savage twice in a follow-on innings. That's brilliantly bowled there. Just a ripper of a delivery from Mitchell Starc, and Ben Stokes, he just looks at that one and is a little bit disappointed with it, but that is going to be Starc picking up his 3rd wicket of the day, or 3rd wicket of the innings, I should say. But Ben Stokes, he is going to be 11 runs of 16 deliveries there. That was a nicely bowled by Mitchell Starc, and that is going to be the wicket. And straight away now, England, 5.5% chance of being able to win this one. That is showing how quickly it can change with the 1 wicket. It's going to be Bairstow, and it is going to be Joe Root, who will be at the crease now, and Stokes out with the George emoji there. And the chat says, Sebastian, that's just a ripper of a delivery, though, from Ben Stokes. It came in a mile, and I feel like the thing is with the surface, it's looking like it is going to be very tough to be able to read what way this ball is going. That's gone in about a foot or so. Go straight through the gap there for Ben Stokes, and England in shambles as well, says Johnny there. So yeah, maybe you will get to see those highlights a little bit earlier than anticipated. I want to lose Ben Stokes, damn, as well, says Bernard. Yeah, him and unfortunately Joe Root, they were supposed to have their big partnership. So now Bairstow will be the man who has to try and steady it for England. They still need another 36 runs. That is absolutely bare minimum for them. In fact, I would argue that somewhere around that 100 lead, so I'd say another 136 is probably required for England to have any sort of chance of winning this one as well. But maybe, just maybe, Bairstow might be able to do something here as well. I do like the average bar that they do have. It is an average of 33.71 for Bairstow. His best is 167 not out. I believe that would have been while he was opening, Johnny Bairstow. Yes, spent a little bit of time as keeper as well recently in the Ashes. He's kind of been moving around the order. I think he's played 1, he's played 2, he's played 6, and he's played 7 into the last kind of few years as well. It's very weird to see Devon Conway scoring 0 in any match. He's so consistent in every innings. Plays like Bradman, but this proves everyone is human in cricket as well, says Cody. And also maybe just a little bit, I guess you could say a little bit rusty after breaking his hand on his bat. Maybe he hasn't had as much opportunity to kind of get that real match feel, and maybe the nerves might have been kicking in as well. At the moment now, Mitchell Starc, it looks like he's telling someone to sit down in the background. Well, they're saying the sight screen is absolutely massive here at the MCG as well. Now, at this stage, Mitchell Starc, he had a hat-trick ball last night. He's not getting one here because it is solid from Johnny Bairstow. And let's get them thumbs up, brothers and sisters, or whatever pronoun you're comfortable with, as us, says Joshua there. Yeah, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to be back a little bit later on today, and that is going to be for the matchup that will be taking place between the Sydney Thunder and the Perth Scorchers. Root, Bairstow and Butler have centuries, gets us back in the game, though, as says Johnny. Exactly right. We just need one partnership here for England. Easier type than done, though, as well, says Johnny. It is indeed. Let's hope that we do get to see a day 4 of this test match. That's the thing. I love the Ashes, and the fact that it only comes around every 2 years makes me want to see all 25 days. At the moment, it doesn't look too likely for this one as well. Mitchell Starc there. No, sorry, it's Cummins, and Joe Root gets a single, and Bairstow now will have the strike back. So they've got 3 wickets left that are the big ones. You got Root, you got Butler, and you've got Bairstow. Those are your three players who need to change this one. This is a shame England aren't even able to get or to clear a 50-run lead as well. England worst cricket at its best as well. Seems a bit odd there. Yeah, hopefully we do get to see these two kind of get themselves a good total. I always keep on saying anchoring down, but then players are ending up falling down. And to just make a Bradman comparison as well, there's Joshua there. And the leader is of 80 runs, proving to be so massive in the context of the match. England has lost half of the side, just scoring the runs of the lead that the match is done and dusted for England as well. Cummins work to the leg side from Bairstow, going to be running hard between the wickets. He is very good with his running, Johnny Bairstow, and they do get back for the two as well. A little bit of a misfield there from Stark. And it does lead to the 2 runs. So Bairstow off the mark now, sitting on 2 off 2. And England trailing by 33. But yeah, it is a good point. The extra 80 runs, I believe it was, that they were able to get in that first innings Australia. They're just showing the celebration from Mitchell Stark and the slip cordon. They were loving it, that ball from Mitchell Stark. And that's the thing, when he gets it around that 140, adds a little bit more indecision from the batsman, and that is when it can be very tough for them to be able to read. But Pat Cummins now, good delivery. It's off the edge, but it bounces to Cam Green. So Bairstow with just soft enough hands to be able to have it not quite carry through. That's actually about the 5th time of Cummins bowling that we have actually seen it not quite make it to the man there. Yeah, let's go there. I wonder what you have learnt from India win over Australia, or just said for the sake of saying as well, here we are losing our sleep over Ashes. Time wasted as well, says Bernard. Yeah, the fact that these games are on in the middle of the night in England, like some people, they have been staying up. I mean, I know Sebastian in Romania, he has been up every hour of the Ashes so far. Some of them he has been intoxicated, but other hours he has been sober. And watching this would have been hard either way for at this stage. So I just hope that we get to see something here from Root, from Bairstow, from these final wickets, showing that England, they've still got fight left in the system, and they're raring to go for match 4 as well. Hamish White, Virat Kohli is being another consistent guy, scoring centuries for fun and struggling in both Test cricket and ODI cricket and T20. To score big runs, he is keeping getting out as well. So it happens to the best of them, though. In terms of the players, it does mean that, like, I guess people are starting to work out. Oh, nice little cutter inside from Pat Cummins as well. But yeah, it just means that at this stage in time, people are starting to work out just a few ways of being able to maybe get him out. Maybe found a slight chink in the armor of Virat Kohli, but it means that now he'll probably go away, work on his technique, and then he'll go back to scoring double centuries very soon as well. Like, that's the kind of player that he is. He will just keep on fighting, keep on going. And like they're saying, it was a very good ball from Mitchell Stark. It just ended up coming right back in. At the moment, 17.5 overs down here for England. And they do trail by 33 runs. As also we have got there. I don't regret staying up and following the action. Despite the series, not going our way, still having a cracking time as well, says Sebastian there with the 10 out of 10. And yeah, we have appreciated every moment that you've been on, Sebastian, as well. Rain or shine, day or night. You guys always tune into these live streams, and it is absolutely awesome. 5:49 here for England. So losing that wicket in the last over, and Stark is once again going to be steaming in for another one. He's actually gone for 25 runs so far off his 8 overs. Been one of the more expensive bowlers out of the options for Australia. I've just had a thought. We haven't actually seen Nathan Lyon bowl yet. That's not going to be fun, or Cameron Green for that matter as well. So they've still got plenty of options left in terms of those bowling figures that they might be able to go with. It's going to be tough. It is certainly going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but the Ashes, they are never easy. Stepping away there for Joe Root. Okay, people on the site screen, are just wiggling around a little bit right next to it. How much of England's performance down to the lack of technique, or is it more down to the state of mind as well? Says Darren Smith. I feel like for certain players, it is actually technique-based, such as a Hamid. I thought that he, after that first match at the Gabba, was going to be like maybe that opener that England needed, but then from there, they've kind of exposed the weakness of the fact that he plays extremely far out in front of him, such as he tries to hit the ball about there. It's very hard to do on a short or small amount of space, but he pretty much plays the ball way out here rather than playing it about here under the eye line. That's a good ball from Stark, but it is left alone by Joe Root. But yeah, pretty much they worked out that, and they were like, right, now we are going to go into that situation of we'll just keep on putting it out there, see whether or not he reaches for it as well. They have the physical ability to do it. It's just that they're morally defeated completely, in my opinion, as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, I feel like at this stage, it is just a case of, like, it's very tough touring in current times in England at the moment. Like, even though they've got all the talent in the world, it's just not quite working out for them. The selection for the first two test matches was a little bit wrong. I think Joe Root himself has even admitted that, for the fact that he didn't quite get it right for that one. And yeah, bring on the Gazza as well. And then this is, it was Joshua. It's going to be nicely bowled by Stark. Once again, another dot baller. This is the last recognising partnership and hope for England. They will need an aggressive innings from Bairstow. Can he play in T20 mode? Adding some big blows, just try to take the attack to the Australian bowlers as well as going. Although they have still got Josh Butler as well, and I feel like he is another one that does need an honourable mention there. We saw him bat for 200 balls. He has also got the power if he does end up chasing it. He did have a little bit of a disappointing first innings in this match, but that was probably a common phrase used for the Australian, or sorry, for the English lineup that we did see batting in that first innings. I know that Bairstow got himself through to 35, though. Joe Root leaves that one alone. And it seems like ever since the first over, where Joe Root was really trying to attack that ball outside of the off stump, he seems like now he has decided that he is going to leave just a few more of those deliveries as well. At the moment, Root 66 on the back. And of course, he'd never brought up 100 on Australian soil. How beautiful would it be for Joe Root if he was able to do it in this game at the MCG and get England back into a position of being able to go on? At the moment, 5.5% chance that England win this game. Losing another wicket, that almost probably drops to 0.5, similar to what it is for the draw. So we will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. But Stark bowls it outside of the off stump. Root thinks about playing it, and he does just have it just outside of the off stump. At the moment, Stark, that's the thing. He's not bowling his normal rapid fire speed, but he's still getting it in just the right place to make the ball move and swing all over the place as well. It looks like it's starting to swing a bit more than we probably saw in the first innings for the Australians when they did have the ball in hand. Mitchell Stark at the moment, he is just getting on with the job. He's bowled 8.4 overs. He will be possibly back for the SCG. I don't think they will risk him, though, if there is still that back injury there. If they are already sitting 3-0 up in the series, I don't believe it's worth trying to break him, I guess you could say. Nicely played there from Joe Root. Holds the pose as well. That's 4 runs, and that is a beautiful, genuine cricket shot down the ground for Joe Root. And that brings up the 50 runs for England now. They are sitting 5 for 55. Oh, sorry, 5 for 53. Geez, my scoreboard's a little bit behind, isn't it? It's only sitting on 49 one moment. Hopefully it does end up updating itself in a very short moment. It's just a very good shot from Joe Root. There it is. It has updated itself now. But Stark ended up doing it almost on the half volley. Joe Root ends up swinging through the line of the ball and also just keeping that elbow high as well. If Root goes, collapse will follow as well. You get the sense that the Aussie bowlers can smell blood in the water. At this stage, if Root goes and then if you lose Bairstow or Butler, then you're into the tail, and they will probably manipulate the strike so that it does end up being that tail ender who is on strike for the Australians, because the closer that Australia do get to having all the wickets gone by the time that England get to that 29, means that we may only have to see Warner and Harris bat for about 5 overs or something along those lines. It's pretty much every 5 runs that they get, Australia will have to bat for maybe another 1 and a bit overs as well. I'm crying so much because Brisbane Heat lost already as well, says Ryan, although they've still got a little bit of a chance. We're early on in the competition, only up to match 23, which does mean there is still potential for all of the teams to be able to go through. They did get themselves the bash boost point, though, the Brisbane Heat. I did see, so that's at least one thing. Do you know Root's average so far during the series as well, says Darren? Or normally our stat man Robert would help us out here, but I don't think Robert is here at the moment. Tell you what, Bairstow just tried to play a pull shot. I think he got smacked in the body with that ball. He's got a smile on his face. I hope he was all right, Bairstow. He looks like he's fine, but he tried to take on the pull shot there. Joe Root just going down, having a bit of a chat with him as well. Possibly not supposed to be going after that one the way that he did. Oh, he ends up hitting him on the back shoulder there for Bairstow. But I know that Root so far, out of all the players, he has certainly been the one. And also, Dubba Milan was another one who has been going very well with the bat in hand. So they've probably got the 2 highest averages. That one actually popped off the surface quite high for that delivery to Bairstow. Now Cummins. It's well played by Bairstow. He does want the run. They do take it. Root, he does make it through, and that is going to be the single. Bairstow, he said yes. Root said no. And then Bairstow had committed, so Root had to go as well. But he was able to get through for the single there. The moment he's just going down to the middle. He's going to have another little chat with Bairstow. I feel like Bairstow at the moment, he is probably right on the edge of getting told off by the captain there. They did make it, like they're saying, easy single there. So there shouldn't be too many issues for that one as well. We always got there, bro. If Brisbane Heat beat Sydney Sixers tomorrow, can Brisbane Heat qualify or not as well? Says Ryan. With it being so early, anyone can still qualify. All the Brisbane Heat will need to do is win about 3 in a row. Oh no, Joe Root just got out of the box again. Now he's doing a little bit of a dance. He has been hit there way too many times as of late. Nathan Lyon's got a big smile on his face because of the fact that Joe Root, it's a repeated offence at this stage that he keeps on getting in the box. Yeah, it's got there the England batsman poking their bats out at balls. They should leave as well. Aussie slips are catching everything as well, says Joshua. Yeah, Steve Smith been just pouching every single ball. Oh, it's right where he didn't want to get hit, Joe Root. The crowd reacting straight away. You got to feel for Joe Root. He had Mitchell Starc in him there in the last match. Although last time when Mitchell Starc did him, it was about an over later that he did end up losing his wicket. That was right at the end of the day. Joe Root at the moment just trying to, I guess, get the breath back after getting smacked there. Ishigo has just said he needs to get a box made of steel because it seems like it's too common of an occurrence. We're seeing the one that he did have from Mitchell Starc. And like they're saying, in the nets, he actually got one hit there as well. And that was with no box on it. Also, we got there the X with the little X next to it as well. He did end up getting nailed by Mitchell Starc. And then now he has that Pat Cummins on another day. The next test match, once again, straight on the money. Not too fun for him as well. Yeah, let's get it, bro. If Brisbane Heat qualified for the mono, and I will join and give you money as well. Says Ryan there. 109 Ks that ball was going at when it did strike him in the box there for Joe Root. And once again, he's still got the slight smile on his face. The umpire's even laughing at it at the moment as well. Joe Root at the moment. He is just not liking this too much. He has got himself back up to his feet. I don't think he actually went down this time, which is good news for him a little bit. But he will certainly need some ice after the test match. For the next little while, Joe Root would become would welcome the new ball when offered as well, says Joshua there in the chat. Yeah, I guess it depends what new ball we're talking about as well, because he is certainly getting smacked in the midsection a bit too often, I guess you could say. Flyers liking it, mate. Just woke up from jamming with my cousin last night as well, says James Gordon. Hopefully you did enjoy your night, mate. And I assume some of you guys probably still in the Christmas spirit, I guess, in terms of having your family members around and whatnot as well. Pat Cummins now, does he try and bowl the exact same delivery, but maybe just seaming away this time? It is going to be played by Joe Root. It is just going to be the dot ball. We're sitting 5 for 54. England still trailing by 28 runs there. And at this matchup, my voice is slowly starting to disappear more and more throughout these live streams, but hopefully it will stick around for the BBL. Luckily, though, we've only got the one BBL match tonight rather than the two, or else I don't think I would have a voice left. And at the moment, Joe Root, this is going to be a tough session for him. He's gone for 38 minutes. They've got another hour and 22 left of the session. And if they get closer and closer to getting the last wicket, Australia, they will actually be able to keep on playing for the extra half an hour. Cummins there. Ball is left alone outside of the off stump. And he is yet to get himself a wicket in this innings as well, Pat Cummins. But normally, the thing is, he is a bowler who bowls with momentum. As soon as he gets one, he normally gets a couple as well. Who's better, Smith or Corley as well, says Xavier Brown. I think it does depend on, I guess, what you're looking at the moment in the world rankings in terms of Test match cricket. Steve Smith ranked number 3, but Virat Kohli is not in the top 5. I believe it's actually Rohit Sharma who is top 5 for India. I think he is in number 5 out of everyone. I think it goes Nana Slavashane, Joe Root, Steve Smith, Kane Williamson, and then it is Rohit Sharma there as well. Well played by Joe Root. Gets right in behind the ball. And that is going to be the end of the 20th over 5 for 54 there. As our bro, I think Michael Nessa needs to come back for the Brisbane Heat as well, says Ryan. If he's not getting opportunities for the Ashes, I would agree with you. Hopefully, does get the chance at T20 Smith test for it. Corley as well. Says Sebastian there, and also we've got the also bought GTA Me and My Dad, which Yaman Story as us, says James Gordon. It is a very long campaign, so you will have plenty of fun on that one. I'm watching Match Live and listening to your commentary. That's fun as well. Says Bernard, so thank you very much, mate. Hopefully I'm not too far behind because I am 30 seconds behind the actual footage just because I am watching it on Sky Go. And hey, Hamish, how you doing today as well from Carlos? Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you are doing well as well. Hope you had a good Christmas as well. I think I've said that to a lot of people, but it is always nice seeing you guys. The familiar faces coming back to these live streams throughout the time that they are on as well. But Bairstow now, he is going to be on strike. Mitchell Stark will be once again running in. So he is going to be bowling about his fifth over straight here for Mitchell Stark. Ends up getting left outside of the off stump. Johnny Bairstow at the moment. We did see him try and take on the short ball a little bit earlier on in the day. Will he do it again? That's a big question, bro. Who is better, Timim Luckwell or Virat Kohli as well? Says Ryan. Ooh. That's a tough one as well. I guess, once again, it just depends on what you're going to look for in that regard. It's like the ones who do ask, like Trent Bolt or Tim Southey, and it's like, depending on the day conditions, and also because one of them's a left-hander, one of them's a right-hander, in that case, it does make it like a little bit more tricky to decide for that one as well. It's going to be whipped off the almost rib cage there of Johnny Bairstow, getting right under the ball though. There's the first yawn that we've had. We have got them, and as I said, England will lose this again. As this stage, 6% chance that England can go on to win it. 0.5% of the draw. With the amount of time that we've got left, we've still got about 260 overs. So we're certainly not going to see a draw here unless we see about 2 days worth of rain. But Australia, 93.5% chance that they will go on to win this one. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be back a little bit later on with the BBL, the Scorchers taking on the Thunder. And also we will be back with the next Ashes Test match. And alongside Bangladesh versus New Zealand, be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Stick around for the BBL game later on as well. Says Sebastian there, and also who is better, Raman. Or we have got there Naf Contrulane as well. I probably don't know both of the players well enough to be able to comment completely, as the gulf between the sides, as big as the result so far indicate as well. Says Darren, at this stage, the batting lineup of Australia, I would say in this game, they probably slightly underperformed compared to the other ones, but then the same could be said about England's batting lineup for this game as well. I think it is more the case of we weren't expecting Australia to get bowled out for as little as they did. 267 though, still very good total on the surface. And what did you do on Christmas? Well, says James Gordon. We did end up having lunch round here, which was very nice. We ended up having quite a few of the family round, and then they were probably round till about 8 p.m. or somewhere around there. And then I was doing a little bit of editing, then headed to bed and was getting ready for the Boxing Day test. Well bowled by Stark. He's decided to change up the angle a little bit, going around the wicket, and that one was relatively close to sneaking through the batter, Bairstow. But Bairstow, he's a fighter. He will keep on going. He didn't actually have a test match position in that England lineup up till this match, where he was brought in now in the number 6 duty. That is actually for Ollie Pope. He does end up just blocking it out as well. It was better Rishabh Pant or Tim Payne as well, says Orion. I would say Rishabh Pant probably takes that one out of those two as well. Definitely at the moment, because we're only getting to see one of those two play, just with the circumstances that did go on, I should say, as well. England need a miracle to save this as well. They do indeed. They need a 50-run partnership between these two to break down that last 28 that they trail by, and then they will need a little bit more as well. And Hamish will also like to do movie reviews or movie seeing live commentary. Many people do that. One Window Movie is playing a bunch of people doing commentary live as well. Says coding there. I guess it's something that I haven't really thought of, to be honest, in terms of doing like movie reviews and whatnot, because I feel like I'm very bad at describing what's happening in like a movie. Even sport, I'm a bit 50-50 at times, but I'd say like describing what's happening in a movie, I feel like I'd probably struggle a little bit more, I guess you could say, because I would feel like I should be commentating similar to like what I do for the sport, and I would end up just talking through the whole movie and probably missing a lot of what is being said as well. But that is going to be 5 for 54 here. Another maiden for the Australians, and Bairstow sitting on 3 runs of 14. Root sitting on 23 of 46, bro. I think Australia will win as well, says Ryan. At the moment, it's very likely that they will be able to go on and get themselves the win. But anyone who hasn't already, like I mentioned, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to this live stream. At this stage, we are sitting on 19 likes already. So let's see whether or not we can push ourselves towards, I'd say, 30 likes within the next few hours. Let's see if we can do it. Can we get 30 before 21? Or sorry, 30 before 25 overs, I should say, as well. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like. It is going to now be Cameron Green getting his first chance with the ball in hand for this innings. Currently age 22. He is actually the same age as me. I'm not sure when his birthday is, but he is certainly a lot taller than myself, sitting at 2 meters tall. And now Cameron Green going to be ready to go. He is actually able to get Root in the second test match, I believe it was, And there's a nice straight ball from him straight away, but Root, I would have played the 4 defensive. At the moment, Cameron Green, maybe he is the option that does get the breakthrough wicket, because we thought Stokes was the breakthrough wicket at the time, but I feel like the big breakthrough wicket here for them is going to be Joe Root. If they get him out, then England will fall. But if they don't get Joe Root out and he sticks around for a little bit longer, Green bowling to Root, I'm nervous. He got him out twice in this series as well. Sebastian there. My prediction, Root will also, I will score at least 50 from here, but Australia will win by 10 wickets as well. And this is Golding, and bro needs Scott Boland as well. He's right, of course, Scott Boland, the big man, being able to pick up 2 wickets last night, the one of Leach, and also I believe he did end up getting, was it Hamid? Yes, it was Hamid, who was able to get with his other delivery as well. But Zach Crawley, he was down. He was in the end out of 5 runs, 16 deliveries, and that was Mitchell Stark who was able to get them. And then the golden duck for Dubber Milan was not what he would have been after in that situation for Cam Green at the moment. He was actually getting them down there at about 145 last night. And he was really having a style up and bringing them just straight into the section that you want it to have. Or sorry, it was actually the day before. I feel like this test match is flying by and I keep on forgetting what day we're on at this stage. And also how much runs Root. I need to have highest test runs in a calendar year as well, says Manib. I don't think it was a mile off, was it, for him? Because I know that he was sitting around, I want to say it was 1,600 or somewhere around there. But I'm sure once he brings up, they will let us know as well. Milan, more like Millard as well. And there, and also I've got I got a PS gift card, but I haven't used it yet. So I got, also I have some new clothes and Adidas slides as well. And there says James Gordon. So it sounds like you were treated very nicely for your Christmas presents. And at the moment, Joe Root, he's going to be at the non-strikers. MPS though edges, but it is going to be falling safe. Just short of Nathan Lyon, and they get through for the single, but that will give Australia a little bit more hope. I know that ball's moving around, and Cam Green, that extra height, almost working in his favour. Cameron Green at the moment, 137. He ended up getting a stiff bounce off it as well, but it just full halfway in between Gully, which was Mitchell Stark for this one, and also Nathan Lyon. They're the dynamic duo normally with the ball in hand, that is for sure. Came off the really just the absolute top corner of the bat there of the ton of Johnny Bairstow. Pitched up delivery it down the ground, but that is going to be fielded nicely by the captain, Pat Cummins. I keep on almost calling him Cat Cummins, but that's not quite the name for him as well. But Cameron Green at the moment, he had a little bit of an injury in the Adelaide Oval Test, but he looks like he has fully recovered from that. Did have a decent-ish day with the bat, I guess you could say, ending up getting 17 runs of 63 deliveries before he was dismissed by, I believe he was actually the one who did get dismissed by the LBW of Jack Leach in that first innings. Cameron Green now, a little bit of extra bounce. And of course, when you're coming from such a high angle, you will always get that little bit more stiffness or more steepness in the bouncer. But that is going to be the end of the over, and it is 5 for 56 now for England. It's not updating now. It is. There we go. It's just changed over. Bairstow sitting on 4 runs. Root sitting on 24. These two probably having a 10-run partnership as of this moment. They certainly need a little bit more. Another 26 runs here would be absolutely crucial for England if they do want to keep this test match alive and maybe make their way into day 4 as well. We will have to wait and see whether or not that will be possible. They have still got another hour and 12 minutes left of session 1. Then we will have a 40-minute break because they will be having their lunch, and then we will be right back into it for their next session as well. But Scott Boland now was able to bowl 1 over, went for 1 run, and did get 2 wickets. He is getting the round of applause from the crowd. They are hoping that he can pick up another one. The hometown boy, Scott Boland, if he can get himself another one here, the crowd will absolutely erupt at the MCG. That was very nicely bowled. And just the 1 over that he did get last night, they did kind of bowl him right at the end of the game, or right at the end of the day, just to see whether or not there was a possibility of him being able to break through. And he got not just the 1 wicket, he also got the night watchman and a Jack Leach. But now Boland be ready to go. Already got the 2 wickets on the board. Can he get himself a couple more here? Johnny Bairstow goes after it. It's been dropped by Cam Green. Would have been the wicket, but Cam Green ends up putting it down. One of the rare mistakes from Cam Green in that gully region as well. And need a full attack 1 bowler as well, at least to upset the rhythm of the Aussie bowling as well. Says, but that would have been Bairstow gone. Went after the ball Bairstow. He decided that Boland was the one to go after. The Cam Green just ends up putting it down. He will be disappointed with himself. He's taken some screamers in that gully region. That could have been another one. But he ends up just sneaking through the hands of him as well. And Boland, he looks like That's the thing. I feel like he's a little bit disappointed, but he does know that Cameron Green doesn't normally make too many mistakes. Tell you what, he's a very large man because Steve Smith looked like a child next to him as well. Nicely bowled by Bowler once again. Bairstow is losing his skill here. Second mistake already as well. And also what a great catch miss, and don't see many of those from the Aussies as well. Exactly right. We haven't seen many drop balls at all from the Australians throughout this one. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back with the next match of the Ashes as well. This could be the final day, depending on whether or not they can get themselves the final wickets that are required. Cam Green, he is disappointed with that one. It was close, but no cigar for the Cameron Green fellow in the gully. Bowling now. It's a good delivery, but it is going to be short, and Joe Root bounces on it, and he will be getting himself at least a couple runs here for this one, chasing hard after the ball. And Labuschagne, you know he's going to give 110%, almost a run-out opportunity, but they get back for the 3 runs. Good running between the wicket from England regarding Root's so-called record. It is based on the Gregory's calendar, or the Mayan calendar as well, says Joshua there. Is it based? Oh, I think it's just the annual season year, I guess it would be as well. So I guess that is. Oh, that's a tough one as well. And also, we have got there, Hamish, can I just say how much I am enjoying your excellent coverage of the Ashes. Oh, yeah, every ball. I really appreciate your insight as well, says Darren. So thank you very much, mate. And yeah, we are coming back for the 4th test match as well. Hopefully, it's at the SCG, or we at least get to see it take place, I should say as well. But yeah, we've also got the BBL. I'm loving my cricket at the moment. We've also got rugby that we cover on the channel as well. And my voice doesn't seem to like it too much at the moment, but it will be back. As soon as I give it a day or two off, I probably won't say any words after this test match is finished right through to the BBL, just to try and save it up a little bit. We always got there. Wide Scott Mullen has only bowled 1 over. The whole innings out of the 22 is a frontline bowler. It's taken. It's given. And Bolin gets the wicket. They're going upstairs though for Bairstow for the LBW, but this one, it could be close, and Bolin might have been able to get the job done and get Johnny Bairstow out. It might be height, that might be the factor, or maybe Bairstow got a bit of an edge there. And this fly won't leave me alone as well, says Jace Gordon there. And then the Jad as well, 2 wickets from 6 balls, so disappointing for him, not getting opportunity. Cummins dominating as well. And there's Coding. I think it is a good move, though, to give him the ball now, and it seems like it has worked out for them. I think that's going to be hit outside the line by quite a lot. So it's whether or not it's called as umpire's call. I don't know whether or not that was going onto the stumps, though. In this situation, probably an interesting decision from the umpire. What a close call, damn, as well. And then this is a disadvantage of having bowling captain. He bowls all the overs, not give opportunity to other bowlers as well. My name read now. I'm from Bangladesh. Your name, please tell me as well. So your name is Raman, and my name is Hamish as well. I believe this will be reversed. It's ended up actually swinging away a little bit. Oh, it's umpire's call. So because of that, that is actually going to be out. It is 2 oranges, but it is going to be the wicket there for Scott Boland. Bit unlucky for Bairstow. He ended up having an impact umpire's call, hitting the stumps umpire's call, but that is going to count as the wicket. And Boland has been able to get his 3rd wicket of the day. And I mentioned early on as well, umpire's call is such an evil option as well. It is indeed. Unfortunately, that's the thing. It's all down to what the umpire has given it as well. Johnny Bairstow, he will feel a little bit unlucky there, but that is going to be now just Butler and Root, and also, oh my gosh, umpire call eating England and haunting them as well there, says Coding. And yeah, we did actually see that in the 2nd test match, didn't we? How it was in the end, umpire's call. And in that regard, it meant that England didn't get it as well. But then for the other one, it was that Australia did get it with umpire's call for the first innings. We are so bad as well. Bring back Sir Alistair Cook as well, says Khan Solo. At the moment, they need someone in that lineup to kind of accompany Root on his way, but they are just showing that ball. It actually ended up seaming away quite nicely for Boland. It almost moved too much, but he went up for the LBW shout. Oh, ended up hitting him in the back of the leg there with that run-out opportunity there. But Boland, he is fired up at the moment, and he's doing something very similar to Jai Richardson. He didn't have a huge amount of wickets that he was able to get in that first innings, but then in the 2nd innings, he was really able to keep on going. And we all saw this coming. Johnny was crumbling as well as sizzling as well, says Sebastian. And you do always mention about the fact that he does get burnt very easy for Johnny Bairstow. But now Josh Butler, can he handle the heat there at the MCG? Luckily for them, it's only 20 degrees, unlike Adelaide when it was sitting around that 35 mark. Josh Butler, he's got an average of 32.48. We know that he can bat time, but it's not about batting time here. It's about getting those 22 runs as soon as possible here for England if they do want a chance of being able to get a bit of an opportunity at bowling at the Aussies. But currently 2% chance for England to win this one. Boland can make a unique record, taking 5 wickets in under 5 overs as well. So he's going there, and that's the thing. Josh Hazlewood, he's just about back. And I believe at the SCG, he's got his fingers crossed to be able to play next week. Who do you get rid of? Like, does Mitchell Stark end up getting dropped from the side? I don't think you can drop Mitchell Stark, though. But Boland, he's gone for 5 runs. He scored 3, or got 3 wickets, as well, off 1.5 overs here. But now Butler, he's going to be on strike. What a wicket this would be for Boland if he can get him. He's gone outside of the outside edge, and that's going to be the end of the over. 6 for 60, a good over from Boland. And we have too many white ball batsmen and the test side as well, says Khan. I guess that is quite a good point. They've got Butler, they've got Bairstow. Dubber Milan, you would consider probably white ball specialist as well. Number 1 T20 batsman in the world is actually where he sits. So who else have you got at the moment? I would say overall Ben Stokes is probably more white ball than test match as well. And then that's pretty much your middle order are all white ball specialists, and drop the captain as well, says David there. Another chance, so that would be Joe Root in this situation. Who would you go with the captaincy instead? Would you give it to Ben Stokes? I think is the next one people have mentioned, but Cameron Green now bowls it nicely. And Mitchell Stark has a little bit of a fumble in the gully region, but he does end up being able to cut that one off. But Joe Root, how many times has he been out at the middle and just lost his partner out there every single time as well? But Scott Boland, he would have had a big old cheer from the crowd when he did walk back to them as well. But when he was able to pick up the wicket, already 3 for him as well. I feel like if he gets a 5 for at home here, maybe that's enough to get him into the SCG as well. Well bowled there. And Cam Green, they are going to be taking the single, and Josh Butler now will have the strike. And at the moment, 6 for 61, like they're saying. He came into the side replacing Jai Richardson, who took a 5 in his second innings. So, I mean, everyone is just at the moment fighting for that one spot. And it's quite cool to see that they have gone with the guys. Like, that's the thing. Losing Cummins, losing Hazlewood for that one match has just meant that we've gotten to see some of the other talent that Australia have got that we may not have gotten to see as well. The likes of a Michael Nessa, the likes of a Jai Richardson, and now this man, Scott Boland, the oldest player since 1950, I believe, to go into that side for the Test match. And world's best and most unlikely captain of the wrong team, Joe Root, as well there. It's like, yeah, you got to feel for him because he's always putting in the effort out there. But he just doesn't have anyone with him who does the same. Like, that's the thing. What we see with Australia at the moment, they got David Warner, who does open the batting. Then from there, if someone goes out, they got Marnus Labuschagne. Someone goes out, they got Steve Smith. Someone goes out, you still arguably got Travis Head. And then from there, because of that, you've got quite a few men who can rebuild a partnership. And we've seen that many times for the Australians. When they are batting, they end up rebuilding. And they do end up getting themselves another good partnership. That one's coming quite a bit from Cam Green there. A bit of the off-cutter off the surface we have got there. Cricket World SNI as well. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you are doing well. And at this stage, trailing by 21 runs here, England. That is going to be the goal. So if they can get it by the end of the session, they have still got another 32 minutes, though. And another 62 minutes. And arguably, if they lose 2 or 3 more wickets here, they'll probably continue on for the extra half an hour, perhaps. Cam Green now, well bowled. Or Josh Butler actually gripping the ribs almost there. He knew that ball, if he didn't hit it with the bat, that was going to hit him as well. And also, hi from Danny Green. Welcome into the live stream, mate, at the moment. Cameron Green having a bit of a bowl. He has only bowled the 2 overs so far. Has not been able to pick up the wicket as of yet, but it looks like he is getting some good pace. He's got his tail up. And I feel like bowling at the other end, taking the wickets, is helping him out to really just keep on going. They're showing there. Who is that? I believe that's Jai Richardson that they were showing, and Usman Khawaja as well on the sideline. Whether or not he gets the chance at the MCG will be interesting to see. We have got there the numbers of its Indian batsman took to the body and the kind of hurt they took as well to save the match and win the series. Don't compare with England as well. It's true. England is just playing worst as well. And also we've got there Stokes can't be the captain. Him in the spotlight. We've given that Sebastian. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Stokes, who else would you go with as a captain option for England? I feel like Joe Root, the sad thing is, like someone mentioned a little bit earlier on, world's best and most unlucky captain of the wrong team, Joe Root, as well there. So it's just tough for him. Like, what do you do? Do you change your selection? Do you change who's in the team? Like, what is next for them? I think the game will be over by lunch, even if it means taking the extra 30 minutes as well. Nice shot there from Root, but goes straight to Nathan Lyon at point. But Boland once again back into the bowling attack. We have got there why Australia haven't tried these quality fast bowlers like Boland and Nessa in India series. They played 4 tests with their old gun Stargaze, and Cummins. Even though the performance was not good, says Coney, I feel like it is that case of a year or so ago, or when that tour did take place, they didn't really, I guess, consider those guys as like possible replacements, I guess you could say, but it's only because of Hazelwood's injury and also because of Cummins' like scare with the COVID side of it that we got to see these guys. Like with Hazelwood out, we probably would have seen Jai Richardson. We wouldn't have seen a Michael Nessa though, who did make his debut after sitting on the sidelines for many, many matches, being 12th man. Finally got that opportunity as well. Only Root can captain as well, and that's the weakest part of his game as well. Says can't solo there. I really wish Root could make 150 plus today, and but no support from other players as well. Says Bernard. Yeah, at the moment, I feel like the way that Root will get dismissed is trying to go a little bit too aggressive because he knows that like he's the only one at this stage who is still propelling the innings forward. That is going to be just the dot ball. And straight out to Marnus Lavishai. No one knows what to do with the England Test squad as well. Nothing seems to work as well. An England domestic game needs sorting out to help out the Test team as well. Because we were talking about it, I believe it was yesterday or the day before. We were saying who are the next England openers, and the question was one that we couldn't really answer because we were thinking, right, they've tried Zach Crawley, they've tried Hamid, they've tried Burns, they've tried Bairstow at the top of the order. I think they've tried Jason Roy. Where do you go from here with your Test openers? Off the edge, that's going to be Joe Root gone, and Boland picks up his 4th, and that is going to be the wicket of Root. The captain falls, and that could be the end of the game almost for the English. 7 wickets down, 61 runs, and they still trail by 21. Root gone down as well. Says Bernard, and also exactly there. Says David, but that is a brilliant delivery from Boland. He does pick up the 4 for now at this point, so he's getting closer and closer to the 5. And that is just going to be off the edge of the outside of the batter, Joe Root, and that is going to be David Warner fired up at the moment, pump in the air as well. We have got there Stokes is a big disappointment for England in this Ashes series. He was the hero and a go-to man to take England from tough situations like in Headingley as well. Yeah, his innings with Headingley or with Jack Leach at Headingley was just absolutely like crazy what they were able to do there. But 99 minutes at the crease, unfortunately for Joe Root, doesn't bring up the century on Australian soil for this game in the minutes or the runs. And that is going to be the 7 down now for 61. Still 21 required. I feel like the thing is Australia might be able to get away with not having to bat here as well, depending on how it goes. We have got there the England pitches as well. They're set up for batsmen to dominate on our new shiny leagues as well. And we have to, when we turn up for a Boxing Day test on a proper test pitch, we stuffed as well, says Garn. And also I reckon the Aussies will have to chase about 10 runs or so, says Sebastian there. Oh, I have a question, Sebastian. If they need to chase 10 runs, are you sending out David Warner and Marcus Harris, or are you giving someone else about? I feel like they should just send out Warner and Harris. And also the game is done in 8 minutes as well, says Mr. Steve there. There is a chance that now that Root has fallen, we might see a couple more. And Ari, oh my God, I haven't seen a dominating debut specifically for fast bowlers bowling not balls. He has put on rocks on the pitch as well, says Cody there. Yeah, he's going very well, Boland, and I hope he does get a future opportunity. That's the thing. Like I mentioned, Nessa, Jai Richardson, and also Boland now have all put their names in the hat to try and compete with the likes of Hazelwood or Cummins. And I think it's great that they have got that competition because it does mean when Hazelwood comes back, he has to push himself to try and get that spot back. And I feel like that is where we're going to see Josh Hazelwood do very well. Definitely at the SCG, which he had spent quite a bit of time at for the Sydney Sixers and the T20 side of it as well. England has disappointed me to the core as well. Really sad to see England lost of cricket like this as well. Even Bangladesh or Zimbabwe could give a good fight as well, says Bernard down. Also, what difference does it make, Hamish? The game is over today and they're up 3-0 up in the series as well. Yeah, so I feel like, I guess it would just add insult to injury if they sent out someone such as a middle order batsman like a Nathan Lyon. They decided to bring him out. Maybe where's this team this year? Where's the Bangladesh as well? Says that Mr. Steve. Boland there. They're just showing that ball. It's a nice outside edge. Straight to Warner, who does pouch it at first slip. And he was fired up for that one as well, Warner. He always does the same celebration. He feels the adrenaline when he takes the catch as well. And Scott Boland picks up his 4th as well. Now he's getting closer and closer to that Pfeiffer, like we mentioned, but it's going to be Josh Butler at the crease alongside Mark Wood. They have decided to send in there. Now Boland at the moment, he's taken he's taken 4 wickets. He's gone for 5 runs, and he has bowled 2.4 overs. That's just an insane stat. Every 4 balls he's taken a wicket. That one did something off the surface and went away towards the slips. But yeah, at the moment, every 4 balls, Boland has taken a wicket. And what a debut for Boland, amazing as well. And yeah, that's the thing, like they were mentioning a little bit earlier on, the oldest player to debut since around 1950 for Australia. And he's coming here. He has been able to get himself 4 wickets in this innings. And also in the first innings, did he get a wicket? I believe he got just the one, didn't he? And that first one, he did end up going for 13 overs, 2 maidens, 48 for 1. And that one, a little bit of an expensive economy. Great ball once again from Boland. And that is going to be 7 for 61 now. And who got the most wickets or who got most of the wickets today? As I said, so far we've had 1 from Boland and also 2 from Boland, I should say, and also 1 from Mitchell Starks, which was Ben Stokes, who did lose it. I actually called him Mitchell Starks, as if he has like multiple of them as well. But it was Mitchell Stark. And each time Boland's walked back, literally almost every single time he has bowled an over here, he has walked back to the applause of the crowd because he keeps on taking wickets as well. We have got there. I've lost £600 with this bad team as well. And duck my sick England as well in there. Mr. Steve. So yeah, hopefully, I was going to say hopefully you can make it back with the next one, but it's going to be very tough to predict how it goes. Agree with coding as well. Says Bernard there. And you can't survive on this pitch. Butler should move to D20 mode. At least give England fans some enjoyment. And Mark Wood, we have seen he can also strike the ball as well. Yeah, him and also Robinson, actually. Very decent batsman we have seen for the last little while. But that ball to Joe Root was just an absolute ripper from a ball and went straight to David Warner, who was able to take the catch. And he is absolutely loving it at the moment, bowling. And I feel like there is no ground he would rather be on than the MCG at home in front of the home crowd as well. Be straight behind the ball there for Butler. So I guess maybe we get to see Butler. I'd like to think that with the fact that it's 21 runs, surely from here Butler looks at it and goes, okay, boys, like this isn't going well. We're not scoring a lot of run, and remove your clothes and dance on the pitch as well. Gives them entertainment to the English fans as well. Says it Bernard there. Although it is actually, I learned from the MCG. This sounds like I did it, but I did see the sign that they do put up on the screen. You get quite a hefty fine at the MCG if you do end up pitch invading, let alone taking all your clothes off on the middle of the pitch. But we did see one person do it the other day. Boland's 32 like Steve Smith as well. Says Robert there, although it was the debut for him as well, which is why that is one of those stats as well. It is the factor of, like, he's still, when you think about it, he's still relatively young, but they're showing there Joe Root just walking back. And unfortunately for him, Joe Root just not quite able to get the job done. And also we got that come home England, you're an embarrassment as well. Says that John UK there. And his stuff would, nicely done by Cameron Green. It's Mitchell Stark off the bounce into the gully region. I'll ask the question, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we ask this pretty much every single match at this stage. What changes are you making if the next match is at the SCG? Are you going with Dom Bess? I'd love to see Dom Bess get an opportunity, definitely on a spinner surface such as the SCG. I feel like they've got to go with Mark Wood again, but saying that, now that the series is gone, maybe give Craig Overton a go, see how he can do with the ball in hand. Can you recall, as Australia have lost 5-0 in England, the Ashes anytime? I've never seen Australia play so bad as well. That's a big old full toss from Cameron Green, and that's going to be what to wait to the boundary. Out cover away from Josh Butler. He brings up his first boundary and first runs of the day as well. They play so well in England as well. Yeah, they do love the English conditions, it seems, for the Australians. But yeah, I believe I would be going back to Rory Burns opening. I would have me gone just for that next match to see how it does go, and remove your clothes and dance on the pitch. Gives it some entertainment to the English fans as well. And there as well. And also we've got the No Barmy Army for England has a definite negative effect. As I said, Joshua, yeah, they certainly don't have as many in attendance for it as they would have liked to for this one, for the Barmy Army side of it. But that's the thing, if it's in the SCG, there may not even be a crowd depending on how it goes. They had to remove one of the games that was going to be at the SCG. I believe it ended up being played at the Sydney Showground Stadium instead there. And at the moment, they are just showing the wickets recap. There's been a few of them so far this morning. Ben Stokes, he was bowled by Mitchell Stark with an absolute ripper of a delivery. Ended up coming back in off the seam. And then bowling, he was able to get that one that did end up going back across. A little bit unlucky with the fact that it was given as out with it being an umpire's call, but Boland able to get it. And then the next one, Joe Root, the captain, did end up falling as well for that one. But I would say, other than those two, I don't know what England do. They'll bring back Stuart Broad as well. I think is going to be another one for that next one. And you leave Jimmy Anderson in there, so you probably end up dropping, if Mark Wood doesn't want to go, tries caught and bowled there for Boland, and he gets his fifer. And so it is a caught and bowl. What a way to bring up the fifer as well for Boland. And that is going to be yet again another wicket. Mark Wood goes, and 5 wickets on debut for Boland. What a feeling for that man as well. That's a fine if you invade on the MCG pitch as well for $9,913 as well. Yeah, because it's been great while they were in the stands, as I said, Sebastian there, but that is going to be Boland picking up his fifer. And as bad as this is for England, like, you got to just, I mean, it puts a smile on your face seeing Boland there. The fact that he is 32 in front of his home crowd on debut here, getting a caught and bowl, getting an LBW, getting a caught behind. And I believe he might have even gotten, did he get a bowled last night? He did get a bowled last night. Has he almost done the, one moment. We're going to have a look at this. There was the caught behind. There was the caught at first slip. There was the bowled. There was the LBW. And also now he has got the caught and bowled. He's doing almost a clean sweep there. And so now that's funny how England is playing as us has been on. And also, please say I'm not seeing any dream, please. It can't be real if this real cricket is not video game. Our Boland is destroying England into pieces as well, says Coding there. Yeah, the moment he is just doing very, very nicely indeed, Scott Boland. It's embarrassing for England, yeah. 17 runs. They still need to be able to stop themselves from losing by an innings and something. Who's going to be next? They've got Robinson. These two, I'm not saying they're going to win the match for England. I'm not saying they're even going to be able to draw it, but Joss Buttler and Ollie Robinson, I'd like to think that they've got enough fight in them to get the 17-run partnership. I said that about the other men as well, but Boland at the moment, he has been on absolute fire. He's sitting 5 wickets, 5 runs off him as well. These are going to be his best bowling figures. It might be the only test match, but I hope it's not that we do get to see him. Surely we get to see him again. And at test kit, maybe the next one at the SCG. Never mind, I hope the Aussies don't get to bat as well. These days deserve the worst of humiliation for some things to change as well, says Sebastian. I'll tell you what's changed my plans for the afternoon. Thought we were going to have a little bit more cricket. I've now got about 7 hours off after this one. Oh, almost the outside edge down. Boland almost had 6 from himself as well. This is absolutely phenomenal from Boland here. And Robinson at the moment, he is going to be facing up against a very tough bowler. And Boland, we haven't seen a lot of him in the past, but we are certainly possibly going to get to see a little bit more of him in the future as well. The crowd are absolutely loving it at the moment. And like they're saying, man of the match could be on the cards here for Embarrassed, depending on how it goes. But we have got their first session. 20% was actually the lowest option out of any of them. They've still got plenty of time. It's carried. It's a 6th one for Boland. And he does get 6 on debut now. It just keeps on going for Boland. This is an absolutely incredible innings from England. 0% or minus 100% chance to win. And also 9, says Mr. Steve. So, yeah, they have got a 0.5% chance of winning this game, but that is as low as it does go. Boland gets another one. I do want to have someone, best bowling figures, that you have more wickets and runs conceded as well when a bowler has taken at least 3 wickets in an innings as well, says Danny Green. This is absolutely crazy from Boland here. He's trying to close out this game and this over at the moment. And it's looking like it might work because he just keeps on getting the wickets for them as well. And also we've got the England, please don't play full series. Joe Root, men should pick a flight after this match as well, or pick a flight after this match from Australia to England. And also, here they're nice. Come on, one more. Let's end this. No one cares anymore as well. Sees that Sebastian there as well. Yeah, England at this stage, they just want to finish this game, head into the SCG, and I guess a new mindset. They're going to have to change some things, and that was just a ripper of a delivery from a ball. And he's just putting it in literally the perfect spot. All you can do is you've got to play at that ball. And Boland got another one. And at this stage, when he's getting the wickets, he's hardly even celebrating Boland. He's still calm and collected with it. And so over there, Boland to open the batting too when you fire as well, says Joshua there. And yeah, he's been going absolutely insanely Boland here. One more wicket, Jimmy Anderson, his record of not getting out on ducks as well, says Coding there. And also we've got England down 4 wickets in 1 session damn as well, says Nathan. Was that before or after the Boland one? I believe that was after it. at the moment. Boland here sitting 6 wickets taken, 5 runs off him, 3.3 overs. The problem here with Boland, unfortunately, is whatever he does in his next match is not going to be to the class of this one as well. Unfortunately, like everyone will be like, oh, he's going to take plenty more, but you can tell that, like, at this stage, I feel like this is the performance of his life at the moment, Boland. But he might have been bowling his way all the way to the ECG, perhaps. Or if they play this game at Melbourne as a day-nighter, how can you not pick that man after the way that he has been going here? Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got the BBL later on tonight, and also we have got plenty more action that will be taking place for the channel as we have got the Ashes and also New Zealand versus Bangladesh coming up. I'll pick a fight and break some skulls and get suspended from cricket as well, says Bernard there. Now it's 10 minutes back. We were discussing how England can make comeback and give Australia 150 run. Our time travels and flies as well. And now Scott Boland has changed this match. I believe at this stage he's only bowled 3.3 overs. He's hardly put a foot wrong. In fact, he hasn't put a foot wrong in the second innings. Boland now charging him once again in front of the MCG. It's going to be whipped away to his leg side, and that is going to be Jimmy Anderson getting off the mark. And they do get the 2 runs as well. So he's just ruined the figures of Boland, I guess you could say. Now he has got less runs, or more runs, sorry, than wickets, so he'll have to get this one out now. This is a performance of a lifetime from Boland as well. And also we have got there, never will come close to this again as well, says Danny Green. Yeah, which is why, I guess, if he can even perform at half the level as this in his next game, get a few wickets as well, I'm sure that the crowd and also the selectors might consider him for the next one as well. But he is certainly going to be the name of the test match for this one on debut. Getting left out alone outside of the off stump as well. This is embarrassing for England as well, says Jimbo. Yeah, not the result that they were after in this test match. That is sure. Debutant as a wicket of the England captain with a 6-for as well, says Jimbo. Yeah, and the names that he has been able to get out so far for Boland. He did get Hamid. He did get Joe Root. Got Jack Leach, Johnny Bairstow, Mark Wood, Ollie Robinson, and now he is trying to get Jimmy Anderson or Joss Butler as well. If he adds Butler to that list, I feel like that just makes it that much more impressive as well. Of one as well. Nicely played by Jimmy Anderson. That will be the end of the Boland over. And every time he bowls, every time he goes back to his mark, down at fine leg, he has to pretty much walk down there and listen to the crowd erupt from as well. I say get rid of the Ashes and do over the ditch, which is New Zealand versus Australia as well. Says that Nathan Sim there, and Stark's got the most wickets at the MCG in current time. Says Robert there. And yeah, Scott Boland now. He is going to get to go back down to the home crowd. It was only just down there, and they are going to be cheering him on once again. 1 wicket left here for England. They need 15 runs to make Australia bat at this point in time. And also end of January, we play you 7 times. Then in March as well, says Robert there. Here we have got plenty of matches coming up between the two. Do we have any test matches, or is it just ODIs and T20s? Robert, do let me know. But the good news is my water, I've been going through it pretty quickly, and it seems like it is going to be relatively empty at this stage. By the end of the first session as well. And also we've got this is not good for overall ICC and cricket. One another country going from good to worse. Now only 3 quality teams remaining: India, Australia, and New Zealand in Test cricket as well. Achievements by England as well gave a career kickstart to Harris as well, Boland and Travis Head as well in there. And also we have got their ODI T20 as well, says Robert down, one of 267. It's the lowest score in an Ashes Test match to win by an innings as well, says Danny Green. It's probably, I guess, actually a decent shout in that regard. Because I know that Robert's our stat man, so he might be able to help us out there. Australia fires this match. They do indeed. That was off. No, it wasn't off the bat of Butler. I thought there was just a little feather down to Alex Carey. I thought this match was all but done here for the English. They still need 15 runs. It looks like now Butler is just going to be swinging. He sees the 15. Do they even want to go back out on the field here, England? I feel like just for the sake of the scoreboard, saying that they lost by 10 wickets looks better than saying they lost by an innings and a certain amount of runs as well. England, or Hamish again, England deny an innings defeat as well. They're going to have to try in this one. And do you mean MCG as well? Says Robert, he does indeed, I believe. Or sorry, he might have said CG actually for the home ground of Mitchell Stark. But also we have got there 267, big score this match as well. Says it off. Yeah, it's looking like a bowler's pitch, I guess you could say that. And anyone who did get, like Joe Root in that first innings to get 50 was very good. Marcus Harris to get 74, I believe, was 76 in the second innings. And David Warner getting 38 was also very good. But at the moment, Bolland, everywhere he's going, the whole crowd is just behind him. At the moment, also Lato in the chat from Prasanna. Welcome into the live stream. Is in any Ashes Test match? So says Danny Green. At the moment, he does end up. That was an interesting moment there for Scott Bolland, but one he certainly won't forget. He did end up going down to the boundary. And then from there, the crowd were all cheering him, and then they took him away. They said to push him up a little bit, and then the crowd all booed because he was going away from them as well. Bowled him for Cameron Green. Picks up the wicket, and that is going to be the end of the game. And Anderson goes, and Cameron Green has got the final one for Australia. And they don't just win this game, they also win the Ashes series. They will retain it, and now there are 2 more games to go, but they are fired up at the moment, the Aussies. Well, that one we also got the Aussies win, says Jimbo, and 2 BBL games tonight as well. Says Nathan Sim, I believe we've just got the one, if I'm not wrong there. And it is the Sydney Thunder versus the Perth Scorchers. Hang on, as scary as us, says Amos Spencer, and also we're there done and dusted. Says, but not in Australia win this match. And then Aussies win, says Jimbo as well. But Australia win this one by an innings and 14 runs. And this pitch also not good for overall cricket match, ending on 3rd day of the test match as well, says Coding there. That is just an incredible performance from the Australian. Scott Bolland able to go out there, get 6 wickets. That was very impressive. 6 wickets, 7 runs off him. 1.75 is the economy of his 4 overs. Australia is the winner. Says Prasanna, they are indeed. Day 3, session 1 as well. And Ashes also, they do indeed get that one as well. But Ben Stokes, he will be disappointed with that performance. What can they do from here, England, to try and rebuild for the next one? Is it going to be the squad that they change, or is it going to be possibly the mindset for England? They've got to find a way of breaking this chain, though, because at the moment, Australia, they have been able to do it again. It's a brilliant delivery. Anderson not able to get the edge or anything on that one, and it does end up getting bowled. And Cameron Green, he was loving it as well when he got that wicket. He was fired up for the side as well. Winner as well, and also we have got there just pity for pity. Just do cricket 22. Other players England as well, says Nathan Sim there. I feel like I could win on cricket 22. I haven't played cricket 22 yet, but I feel like it would be a decent one as well. But Australia, they win this game by an innings and 14 runs. Day 3, session 1 is when this one ends. That means that we missed out on a total of around 245, maybe even 250. As I also Sebastian. Yeah, I feel like we probably, I don't think that one is in that situation at Ashes also as well. Says that Prasanna there also, he would lose if he played for England as well. Says, I feel like I go all right. And that one as well. But Bolland, he gets to take the stump with him. I feel like that's almost a man of the match performance there for Bolland. He did get 1 wicket in the first innings. Then from there, he went on. Joe Root at the moment, I think he's just said to Scott Bolland, he's exchanged a few words saying, like, you bowled extremely well down Milan at the moment. Everyone is congratulating Bolland, which is great to see as well. And at the moment, there is not a single English player who was going past him there who didn't stop and say just a few more words to him as well, which is absolutely great to see in terms of that sportsmanship as well. Even though it didn't go England's way, they still spent the time to say to Bolland, like, mate, you just bowled like incredibly well for that one as well. 6 wickets in 1 session as well. Says that David Rose, and also we have got there the team who made the last total is of 36 as well, has won the last 2 series in Australia as well against Australia. How about that? As well, says Bernard, and also Bolland was on fire, taking 6 foot on debut as well. He was indeed. He would win if he was Australia, though, and also 6 wickets on debut. What a hero. And 36 is the lowest score in an Ashes match. The Kiwi lads as well. In the end, England, they were bowled out for 68 in the second innings. Justin Langer at the moment, he's a very happy man. Nathan Lyon, he did not have to bowl for this one. I hope they give Swepson a chance in the next one for the SCG. It is a spinner's track normally. That is if we play at the SCG, that is. We will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. The game is supposed to be taking place on, I believe it's January 5th for that one. We will go like this, and we will go like this. These are the matches, although the days are completely wrong because it was a long time ago that I took the screenshot. But January 5th will be the next Ashes Test match. We've got 2 days now with no Ashes, unfortunately. But we have also got the South Africa versus India match will be continuing, although I don't think we'll be covering that one on the channel as well. But now I'm up very early. Normally I wake up at about 8 p.m. when I'm doing my BBL live streams. I've now got another 6 hours. In fact, I've got another 7 hours to fill in of the day. Don't know what to do with myself. My voice is almost gone. I'll probably have to sit in silence, doing nothing. Although I have got a Harlequins game that I will be going to watch as well at Australia versus England. That is going to be taking place on January 14th as well. as the final test match, and I'm going back to sleep, it seems. Thanks for the stream. I'll see you later for the BBL as well. Says Sebastian, yeah, hopefully you do end up getting some good rest, I guess you could say. In terms of, because it's still in the middle of the night, isn't it, for you, Sebastian? You're sitting at about 12:55 or 2:55 a.m., I believe it is. So yeah, hopefully you do get a good rest before the BBL, and also see you, mate, as well. And damn, he lost as well. Says more kick there, and also we have got there. I was so scared England would chase us down. I don't know why as well. And thank you for the coverage, legend as well. Says G Raccoon as well. No worries, mate. And who won that game? And it says Robert. I'm not too sure. I don't actually know it yet, but I am keeping it as a little bit of a surprise for myself. So I haven't actually looked it up. So no spoilers, please, in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a cup of tea for everybody to win against Australia and Australia as well. Says a bit odd, but Australia, they're getting the round of applause at the moment from the crowd at the MCG. They did still buy a win, and Bolland certainly will be the name that is mentioned quite about after this test match and will be remembered for it as well. And also, thanks, mate. Recover well, bro, as well. Says that Joshua. Yeah, hopefully my voice will be back tonight for the BBL, which we are going to be covering on the channel as well. That will be the Thunder versus the Scorcher, and they're all just chanting Bolland once again. And they are trying to push him in the front there, but he does want to stay back with his team. Isn't willing to walk too far ahead of the team as well. But Bolland at the moment, he has got the stump. He is loving the round of applause. He's got the ball out of the pocket as well, and I believe he will be holding that one up for the crowd as well. He's still shining the ball. He will be keeping that one, though. And player of the match will be Bolland, I'd say, as well, definitely. And Northampton were excellent as well. Says I respect that also. We have got there. Will they do the trophy today as well? Says Nathan Sim. I'm not too sure whether or not it will be the trophy presentation. Well, this one, and also Scorchers will lose tonight as well. And it says it will be an interesting matchup against the Sydney Thunder. I believe it's going to be played in Sydney due to the fact that they're still not really allowed in Perth. But for this innings, I will just mention who was able to get the runs. Joe Root, top run scorer for both innings, first and second for the English, and he was able to get 28 runs off 59 deliveries. 7 for Hamid was almost the second top score. In fact, it was the third top score. Ben Stokes got himself 11 for that one as well, and then 7 for Hamid. 5 for Crawley, a golden duck there for Dava Milan, duck for Jack Leach off the second ball, 5 for Bairstow, 5 for Butler. Mark Wood got a duck. Ollie Robinson got a duck as well. And the next is high. The end is 9 for England, I'm afraid, as well. Says that's transport there. At the moment, they're just having a chat with Scott Bolland there. And also Western Australia is now another country as well. Says Amos Spencer down 5-0 next. Says to Martin there. And also we have got there, what team does Josh Mackay play for in Europe? I think it's Glasgow, if I'm not wrong. They were actually supposed to have a game yesterday, but sadly another game of the URC that has been postponed / cancelled as well. Glasgow Warriors, Nathan, as well, says Robert. But I remember when he did get injured, I think it was one of the very first games of the Bunnings NBC. It looked like he was going to be out for a little while, but luckily was able to still go on and take part in the Glasgow kind of season, even though the Glasgow season is kind of disappearing as we speak as well. We will have to wait and see how it goes. Where Bolland destroyed English batsmen, 7 runs, 6 wickets as well, says Raj. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal innings from Bolland with the ball, and one that he will never forget. Definitely in front of the MCG crowd. Nathan Lyon, he can't believe it. Pat Cummins, he is loving it as well, and surely you select him for the next test match. Definitely if it is a day-nighter at the MCG, and Guy Porter will play for the Wallabies as well. And there says Amos Spence, but at the moment, the Australians making their way around the ground. I believe that they will more than likely have the trophy presentation maybe today. And there are still 2 test matches to go. England are woeful as well. First test victory in the last 12 tests as well. And there says to Martin, but at the moment, Mitchell Stark, he was also able to get himself 3 wickets. Needs a bit of praise as well, getting a couple of those breakthrough ones last night. At this stage, it was 10 overs, 3 maidens, 29 for 3 wickets, and an economy of 2.9, like I mentioned. Pat Cummins, he actually didn't pick up a wicket. He was 10 overs, 4 maidens, 0 wickets, but it only went for 1.9 as well for himself. And then Scott Bolland able to get 6. Cameron Green able to get the final wicket of the day as well. But Bolland bowling 4 overs, 6 wickets, 7 runs, 1 maiden as well. And I believe one of those would have been the wicket maiden as well. At the moment, Scott Bolland, is that his mum? And the crowd possibly, because that, if it was, would be absolutely awesome for him as well. We have got there, if you're England, play Wokes, he can bat unlike Bairstow as well. Says Nathan Sim, I made a passing comment in one of the other live streams, and I was like, do you just open with Wokes? Like, and see how he goes? Because at the moment, they haven't really got too many other options. He actually has got an average of about 30 now at the ground as well. But Bairstow, at the moment, he will be disappointed with that second innings. He did decently in the first one. At the moment, 35 in the first innings as well. Too many public schoolboys in the England team as well, says Transport there in the chat. My voice is going to be gone very soon, but hopefully it does stick around for a little bit longer as well. But Bolin at the moment just having a chat with some of the crowd. They've got security there. That one as well. I assume that it's if anyone wants to throw something at Bolin, but I don't think they would be in that regard. The only thing that they'll be throwing at that man is flowers and chocolates because he has been able to help them get the win. But yeah, I hope Wokes does get a chance to have a little bit more of the bat and just need to kick the openers out as well. Says Bernard, who would you go with as openers then for England if you have not got the ones that you got at the moment? Who do you decide is the man to go with at the top? I feel like the problem is at the moment they don't know whether or not to go with Hamid or Burns, and they can't really go with either in a way because neither of them have been performing too well. I would probably go with Rory Burns, so I'd go with the left-hander option and just hope that he does have a better innings in that first session. Then you've also got, I guess you got to try and decide. I know they don't have Jason Roy over there at the moment because of the fact that he probably wouldn't be the best option for opener, but they need someone who can propel the innings and not get kind of hunkered down because at the moment, like the openers, Hasib had 7 runs off 31 balls with the 1-4, 22 strike rate. Then Zach Crawley had 5 runs off 16 balls with a 31 strike rate. Sorry, I feel like Zach Crawley might be a good option in the future. He did just get a ripper of a delivery from Mitchell Starc in the first innings and also in the second innings as well. He was nailed with that one as well. And also we've got the England just need to kick the openers out as well from Bernard there. But yeah, I would say overall, if we do get to see, I go Crawley and Burns as well. Said Nathan Sim, yeah, I feel like that is the combo to go with. I'd like to see Stuart Broad brought back in as well. And then also we would end up, I guess maybe you go with Dom Bess. I feel like you need to go with Dom Bess in this next test match. Definitely if you're going with the extra spinner. We will have to wait and see whether or not they go. I don't know how Sir Ian Botham is feeling right now as well. I'd say there's a huge amount of disappointment at the moment for him, but hopefully England, they can find a little bit of something for that next test match. It's either going to be at the SCG, the MCG, maybe even it will take place in Perth, Brisbane. They're not too sure. Adelaide could be an option as well. We will have to wait and see where they do go with it. But thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back with the BBL later on tonight, 9:15 p.m. And that game is going to be between the Perth Scorchers and the Sydney Thunder. That one should be a very exciting game as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. We have got their footy in the chat, as said Scott Boland as well. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal from Boland. 6 wickets, 7 from himself as well. And also we have got the LOQ lads. My Beer Pro start at 2:45 p.m. as well, says Brandon. So this match is actually going to be finished by the time that one starts as well. Also, I bring in Crawley with Burns, David, Root, Stokes, Butler, Broad, and also Anderson, Bess, Wokes, Wood, and Leach as well there for the lineup. So you haven't got also you have got there, you have got Broad, Anderson, Bess, and that's right. So you've got rid of Bairstow, I do see, in that lineup. And also we have got the thumbs up from Trucking Down Under. You'll be very impressed with that performance. That is surely it's going to be Scott Boland, who is the man of the match for this one. They're going to be chatting to Joe Root now, though. And are you coming as well as Brandon? I might be able to make it for that one by the looks of it, as on England did show potential when Australia were batting as well. Says Hamish Spencer. I think that's why it probably hurts a little bit more for England in this one, because like they did very nicely. Like Jimmy Anderson, he bowled some very good deliveries in that second innings, or sorry, that first innings that Australia did have with the bat in hand, and he was able to get himself the 4 wickets. It looked like England were coming off a high when they were able to bowl them out, but then they did lose those 4 wickets on the first day, which really did make it tough to be able to fight back from there. Let's go as well. And who wins, says Brandon as well. Pretty much it was in the end Australia. They won by an innings and 14 runs. They did not have to bat for the second time and that one as well. And let's go, says AFL has fun there, but nonetheless, I guess I will be saving the vocal cords for later on tonight. We're currently sitting 2 p.m. here in New Zealand, so we've still got another 7 hours or so till our BBL live stream. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, like I mentioned, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be covering the test match between Bangladesh and New Zealand, and also the Ashes match 4, I should say as well, which is taking place on the 5th of January, alongside our BBL and rugby live streams that we normally do as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Hope you do enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all a little bit later on.